Hey everybody, it's Josh from Romping with Corn Boy. I haven't made a video in a while because I've basically been dead to the world, but I figured now would be a good time to make one. So let me show you the Moscata pumpkin patch, and then I'll show you the corn isolation. You can see all the wheat in between the rows. I've been keeping it mowed. This wheat has been up and growing for 2 months, and as you can see, almost no other weeds at all. No ragweed, no spiny amaranth, none of that. Because I keep it mowed, keeps pretty much everything else cut down. Even the Johnson grass can't take the repeated mowing. Now you can see the pumpkins starting to run, and they're going to fill in all of that empty space and basically eat the grass. And then the grass will rot and make a mulch, a thatch. But anyways, so these are some commercial butternuts that have powdery mildew resistance. I'm going to cross those with all 4 of these rows. The commercial butternuts will be males. Let me get the flies away from me. Okay, this is Seminole pumpkin from the Florida Everglades. It's got pretty good disease resistance. Main reason I want it is it has a recessive powdery mildew resistance gene that, as far as I know, is not in anything commercial. Plus it has good downy mildew resistance as well, because we get both mildews. Another row of Seminole. There are some female buds starting on the ends of the leaf tips, or the shoot tips. So that means here maybe in 2 or 3 weeks I'll start getting some fruits. Okay, these took a while to get up and going, but this is Molokai Mix from Hawaii. It's a mixture of a Filipino, a Taiwanese, and a Northern Australian hybrid. 3 different commercial hybrids, all allowed to random mate. I'll tell you what these oddballs are here in a second. The Molokai Mix got off to a rough start because it really did not like our cool, dry May. But after we got drip tape run on it, see the system there, it finally took off and did pretty well. Let me get closer to it since I had a partial row. I was going to stick something in here, but the seeds didn't germinate, so I put a little kind of a last minute addition. There we go. There's the Molokai Mix from Hawaii, from the Hawaii Farmers Seed Network, I think is the name of it. All 3 of the commercial hybrids that went into this mixture all had strong resistance to powdery mildew and viruses. We don't actually have any cucurbit viruses here that I'm aware of. I've never seen any, but we definitely have powdery mildew. And so the goal is probably at least one of the resistance genes in the Molokai is probably not found in U.S. commercial stuff. There's a particular one I'm looking for that came from an Australian landrace, a blue Moscata, that I'd like to use. So if that gene is in this mixture, I wouldn't be terribly surprised, and I'd be pretty happy. The gene from the commercial butternut in the back, that came from Cucurbita okeechobeensis, which is a wild pumpkin. PM0, I think, is the gene name. It's dominant. It's in just about all of your powdery mildew resistant Peppo summer squashes. So I'm pretty sure that's in the commercial butternuts. Cross that with the PMS in recessive in the Seminole, and then maybe get the PMA gene or something else out of the Molokai Mix. And best case scenario, I could have 3 different resistance genes for powdery mildew. But yep, so here in about a month, those vines are going to be just eating the wheat. So, and the wheat has not bloomed. It will not bloom because it can't get vernalized because it's a winter wheat. This here, I stuck in a few hills of honey nut, which is a butternut that has some Cucurbita maxima genetics in it. For higher carotene and sugar content, I believe. I'm going to try to make some crosses if I can. If not, I mean, I had some empty space. It's supposed to taste really good. But that's the Moscata pumpkin patch. This is the best looking one. There's a Couchal patch. I'm going to have to get that cleaned up a lot before I feel comfortable showing it because it is a mess. But that's the good pumpkin patch. And I've got another one I don't know if I want to show it at all because germination was horrendous to say the least. But anyways, okay. So let me go over ahead and do this one first. Okay, all this corn here is part of the isolation crossing block. Isolation because it's being kept away from all the other corn I'm working on, and a crossing block because you'll look and say, hey, why is every other row missing tassels? Well, you cut the tassels off of one corn before they start shedding, and then you let the other corn's tassels in this other row, different corn variety, you let it fertilize the silks on this row, and that way you make a cross, and you don't have to do any hand mating, no nursery stuff, no bagging, none of that. It's sloppy, but it gives much better results. Sorry, let me rephrase that. It's sloppy, but it's very low investment. Now here's something really cool. Look at the prop roots coming out of the Cusco. Oh, I should give some information. Okay. The female in this section is Cargill North Temperate Zone Cusco. Hope I'm pointing the right thing. And the males are Cargill North Temperate Zone Coroico. One's from the high Andes. One is from the Amazon rainforest, Brazilian, Mato Grosso, I think is how you say it, that state. And I'm crossing them to try to get something novel. It'll have a lot of diversity in it. See little bees working that tassel there. But yeah, so I think it'll be pretty nice. Some disease resistance in there, not a lot. But the Amazon corn is the only soft corn. It's the only flower corn that does not mold here. So that makes it very, very valuable. The Cusco has bigger kernels, fairly strong roots for what it is, and excellent cold tolerance. And here's the best part, okay? I planted this whole block on April 14th, which is the earliest I've ever sown corn here because we're at elevation. Normally the last frost for us is typically about May 1st. So this was very, very early, and surprisingly, despite a couple light frost scares, it survived, and it looks like it's going to make something pretty good for me. Okay, this is block number 2, and the reason why I planted it this way is block 1 was April 14th. Block 2, I think, was May 5th. It's about 3 weeks of separation. That way they don't cross with each other because you can isolate corn either by distance or by time. And in this case, between these two, I used time. So 2 more days, I'm going to be done with this section. I'll cut off any tassels that are still shedding, and then I'll start letting this section breed. The very first ones in this isolation are starting to bloom. Now, this is the exact same cross, but in the opposite direction. In this case, I'm going to be using the Amazon corn as the female and pulling its tassels out and using the Cusco Andean corn as the male. Now, fun little tidbit here. This stupid flies, quit biting me. This is not actually a tassel that I pulled out. This one got sterilized by, let me get it out. Got sterilized by smut. You can see that bleaching. Smut will actually sterilize your tassels in your ears. So that plant self-eliminated. But anyways, yeah, so this will be the same cross but the opposite direction. And the reason is there's some DNA that only comes through the seed from the maternal DNA, maternal line. And by crossing the Cusco over here as a female, and then the Coroico as a female here, I'm making the same cross but keeping the maternal DNA in both directions. And that maternal DNA affects the mitochondria, and the mitochondria is greatly affected by temperature. So things like cold tolerance, heat tolerance, those maternal DNA does seem to have an effect. So if you have a corn that has very strong cold tolerance, You definitely want to include it as a female, at least partially, because some of that cold tolerance will not come through the pollen. It will only come through the seeds. Okay. And this is your corn, Dave and Ole, growing some on contract. I just planted this 3 weeks ago. Still got to get in there and do a first weeding. Believe it or not, this isolation here was clean a month ago from spraying, and I weeded that first section over there twice. But anyways, so this, this another 7 rows, 150 feet apiece. So Dave and Ole, hopefully your corn will do okay. I will put drip tape on it maybe next week if we can finally get the ground dried out. We got 6 inches of rain in 12 hours yesterday, overnight, the night before. So needless to say, it is unbelievably wet out here. The good news is that since we're up on a ridge, and since we have very, very well-drained, too well-drained silt soil, after about 5 days, we'll probably be back mostly to field capacity. So, oh, and the nice thing about that wheat over there in the pumpkin patch, having that gives me something to walk on when it's all wet and muddy. But yeah, so I just wanted to show that. I don't think if there's anything else unusual. Yeah, so just irrigation, still got to put in the drip tape. Fence is working really well. This isolation block here will be at peak bloom probably in about 10 days, maybe a week. But yeah, so I'm really excited. I'm really happy with it. I just wanted to show this to y'all. Hopefully something doesn't go wrong between now and the next video. But let's see, is there anything else? Oh, flag leaves. Just little odd things. Let's see here. And there was something else I was going to show, but I can't find it. Maybe in the next video. But yep, so I'm out here in corn country. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll try to make another one for the corn nursery. That one's not going to be so happy because this has not been a good year for the corn nursery. But I'll talk about that later. Anyways, hope y'all doing all right. Catch you later. Stupid flies. Bye-bye.